Hello, my friends. It is good to be together through this online space as we are every week. Today I have a story to share with you called The Great Ball Game. It's a retelling of a story by Joseph Bruchac, and I want to tell you a little bit of background to this story. So it's called The Great Ball Game. Games of all kinds have been played for centuries throughout the Americas. And sometimes a ball game of some kind, like lacrosse or hockey, or a game similar to soccer, would be played to settle an argument instead of going to war. This particular story, telling of this story, is from the Muskogee Creek Indian Nation that lived in what we now call Georgia. And this story tells of how the animal people once settled a disagreement through a ball game. So this particular telling is based on a story told by Louise Little Coon Oliver, who is an Oklahoma Muskogee elder. And the author chose to make the story stickball, which is a lacrosse-like sport that uses two rackets, one held in each hand. Lacrosse, in its southern form of the game, originated among the native nations of North America. So, here we are. Long ago, the birds and animals had a great argument. "We who have wings are better than you," said the birds. "That is not so," the animals replied. "We who have teeth are better." The two sides argued back and forth. Their quarrel went on and on until it seemed they would go to war because of it. Then Crane, the leader of the birds, and Bear, the leader of the animals, had an idea. "Let us have a ball game," Crane said. "The first side to score a goal will win the argument." "This idea is good," said Bear. "The side that loses will have to accept the penalty given by the other side." So they walked and flew to a field, and there they divided up into two teams. On one side were all those who had wings. They were the birds. On the other side were all those who had teeth. They were the animals. But when the teams were formed, one creature was left out. Bat. The trouble was, Bat had wings and teeth, so he flew back and forth between the two sides. First, he went to the animals. "I have teeth," he said. "I must be on your side." But Bear shook his head. "It would not be fair," he said. "You have wings. You must be a bird." So Bat flew to the other side. "Take me," he said to the birds, "for you see I have wings." But the birds laughed at him. "You are too little to help us. We don't want you," they jeered. Nobody wanted the bat. Then Bat went back to the animals. "Please let me join your team," he begged them. "The birds laughed at me and would not accept me." So Bear took pity on the little bat. "You are not very big," said Bear, But sometimes even the small ones can help. We will accept you as an animal, but you must hold back and let the other animals play first. Two poles were set up at the goalposts as the goalposts at each end of the field. Then the game began. Each team played hard. On the animal side, fox and deer were swift runners, and bear cleared the way for them as they played. Crane and hawk, though, were even swifter, and they stole the ball each time before the animals could reach their goal. Soon it became clear that the birds had the advantage. Whenever they got the ball, they would fly up into the air, and the animals could not reach them up there. The animals guarded their goal well, but they grew tired as the sun began to set. Just as the sun sank low below the horizon, Crane took the ball and flew toward the poles. Bear tried to stop him, but stumbled in the dim light and fell. It seemed as if the birds would surely win. Suddenly, a small dark shape flew out onto the field and stole the ball from Crane just as he was about to reach the poles. It was Bat. He darted from side to side across the field, for he did not need light to find his way. None of the birds could catch or block him. Holding the ball, Bat flew right between the poles at the other end, and the animals had won. The animals had won. This is how Bat came to be accepted as an animal. He was allowed to set the penalty for the birds. "You birds," Bat said, "you must leave this land for half of each year." So it is that birds fly south for the winter. And every day at dusk, Bat still comes flying out to see if the animals need him to play ball. The end. The end. So there was a place for Bat after all. I love this story. It's a fun story. And the reason I chose it this week is because in church we're talking about letting other people help us. We're talking about how sometimes it's hard to accept that we need a little bit of support, that we need a little bit of help, that we can't do this thing called life all on our own. It's too hard. And actually, when we let people help us, we all benefit, not just the person who gets the help. The person who gives the help gets a benefit too. We see this in the story where Bat helps the animals, and it also makes Bat feel so good about himself that he could support his team and help out his team. So it's just a great example of the ways in which we participate in a circle of giving and receiving. And that when we allow ourselves to ask for help and to give help, we keep this flow going and moving in a way that is really beautiful. So I invite you this week as your one task to practice asking for help. So pick a moment throughout your week where you might feel like you want to do something all by yourself. Maybe you feel like you can handle it all by yourself. But think about how good it might feel to ask someone else to help you and to allow them to feel that joy that we feel when we support other people. So I am excited to hear what you will ask for help doing. And I will promise to undertake this task as well. And we can talk about it next time we see each other, what we ended up choosing. So friends, have a wonderful week. Know I am thinking of you and sending all my love to each and every one of you. Until I see you again, take good care.